Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the No DQ live recap of AEW Dynamite for July the 29th, 2020. Very interesting show tonight. A lot went down, so let's go ahead and discuss Dynamite. Shout out to the chat room. Thank you to everybody watching, whether it's live or on demand. I appreciate your viewership and support. Let's get started. We kicked off Dynamite with the opening. We had Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Taz on commentary. No Excalibur this week. There was a video circulating on social media, resurfacing a video from PWG, and I'm not sure if this was the reason why Excalibur was not on television, but a video resurfaced of him back when he was wrestling in PWG. He cut this promo and he referred to the Human Tornado as the N-word. He actually said the N-word in a promo to get heel heat, and this video recently resurfaced and a lot of people started tagging Tony Khan, saying if you're going to ban Hulk Hogan from AEW, you should ban Excalibur. Again, I don't know if this is the reason why Excalibur was not on the show, but the timing is very interesting. Ken terminated by DQ with the first super chat of the evening. He says, "Don't talk about Ryder yet." Right, Rift? Ryder? We'll get to Ryder here in a few minutes. Let's get to the show. Let's start off with our first match of the evening, the Inner Circle versus the Jurassic Express and the Best Friends. We had Chris Jericho and Orange Cassidy in the ring, but Jericho, like the true heel that he is, he quickly tagged out to Jake Hager. Orange Cassidy did his kicks to Hager, and then it quickly erupted into a brawl. Everybody fighting, everyone taking turns doing dives. Even Marco Stunt did a dive with Luchasaurus hoisting Marco and throwing Marco over the top rope, but Hager caught Marco, threw Marco back to Luchasaurus, but then Marco got on Luchasaurus's back and Luchasaurus did a big jump dive onto everybody. We got back into the ring and Sammy Guevara managed to gain the advantage. And towards the finish of the match, Chris Jericho attempted to use his bat Floyd. However, Orange Cassidy stopped that from happening. Sammy Guevara went to the top rope, and all of a sudden, Matt Hardy in his street clothes knocked Sammy Guevara off the apron. Matt Hardy's first appearance on Dynamite in several weeks. Luchasaurus hit a roundhouse kick and pinned Sammy 1, 2, 3 to score the victory for the Best Friends and the Jurassic Express. Nice little opening here to kick off the show. I enjoyed it. We had Jon Moxley backstage cutting a promo for the main event, Moxley and Darby Allin against Taz's men, Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. He thought his issue with Cage was settled, but then we saw what happened with Cage and Starks attacking Darby Allin, and now Mox wants to see how those two square up in a 2-on-2 fight when the odds are even. We then had our weekly TNT Dynamite Championship match. Cody defending his title against a new person in AEW, but he's pretty well known on the independent wrestling scene. His name is War Horse. This is the first time I've ever seen him in action. He's 400 pounds of heavy metal, and he is there in AEW to rule ass. Best way I can describe him is he gives me the Renegade vibe. He feels like the Renegade, but better wrestler than the Renegade, I'll say that much. He kind of reminds me of like the love child of heavy metal Van Hammer with the whole heavy metal gimmick. mixed with the Renegade. Renegade, of course, was an Ultimate Warrior knockoff, but basically a lot of energy. He's got his face painted, coming out there and just having a lot of energy. Good match here between these guys. Warhorse got a bunch of near falls. Cody made the youngster look good because that's what Cody does. And Warhorse ended up jamming his knee coming off the top rope. Cody took advantage of it, put on the figure 4, and scored the submission victory. I do like that Cody's using the figure 4 as a finisher and having a different finisher besides the Crossroads. Good stuff here from Cody as usual. After the match, Cody went for the handshake that he always does to show the sportsmanship. But then we had the Dark Order guys, 2 of them. I forgot which ones they were because, you know, they're not exactly the most memorable guys and they're wearing masks and whatnot. 2 of the masked Dark Order guys ran out and Warhorse pushed Cody aside to basically take the blow. And there was a beatdown. And then all of a sudden, we had the man formerly known as Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona, showed up to make the save for his good friend Cody Rhodes, beat the crap out of the Dark Order guys, and he looks great. Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona, whatever you want to call him, he's jacked up, he's tan, he looks very motivated. Fun debut here from him, and of course, you got the anti-AEW people being like, oh, here's another former WWE guy that they're signing, but you knew he was going to end up in some company. Probably AEW because he's friends with Cody. It's true. He is close friends with Cody. But you know what? This is a new opportunity for him, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do with it. Now, there is a $5 super chat from Ken. Thank you, Ken. I appreciate it. He says, you mean you got the Man Mountain Rock vibes regarding Warhorse? He says, by the way, I had to ask because I know you hated when we super chat about a return early in the chat. Yeah, because you basically spoil it for the people that might tune in. And I'm not sure how many people do this, but there might be a few. There might be a few people that tune in and they're like, I don't want to know what happened. I want to be surprised as Aaron recaps it. There might be a few people. But if you're in the chat room, you're probably getting spoiled anyway. So there you go. And next week, we're going to have a tag team match. Holla, 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 players. We're going to have Matt Cardona in his Dynamite in-ring debut, teaming up with Cody against the Dark Order guys. I presume the guys that ran out and did the attack. Somebody give me their names. I'm not sure which 2 guys it was. Man, I can't even remember their names. That's bad. I mean, they're 2 guys wearing masks. That's all I know. Dark Order 3 and 4, whatever. So we had Tony Schiavone on the stage introducing the Inner Circle for an interview. Chris Jericho was furious, and Sammy Guevara called Matt Hardy a stupid son of a bitch. And then Jericho announced that he is going to give Orange Cassidy a rematch. That rematch will take place in 2 weeks on Dynamite. Next week, it's going to be a debate between Jericho and Cassidy with a special guest moderator. Who knows who that person's going to be? I guess it could be anybody. And Jericho said after he beats Cassidy, he wants $7,000 for his ruined jacket, courtesy of the orange bath from a couple weeks ago. And AEW is billing this as Super Wednesday for next week, a special edition of AEW Dynamite. Regarding the Dark Order members, by the way, Zach Smith, thank you for this, Alex Reynolds and John Silver. Yeah, I mean, to me, they're very generic, but whatever. They do have names, believe it or not. We had a backstage segment with FTR signing their AEW contracts. Tony Schiavone was there. This was pre-taped. And FTR basically had some clauses in their contracts. They wanted the rules enforced. So in order to make sure the rules are being enforced, they brought in the enforcer, Arn Anderson, to come in and look over the documents and make sure it's to their liking. Once Arn Anderson, who I guess is a legal expert, was able to confirm everything's good with the contract, they signed, and it was announced that in 2 weeks there will be a tag team appreciation night hosted by FTR. Adam Page came in, had some drinks with FTR to celebrate. And there you go. FTR, in case you were worried about maybe they would leave or anything, they have signed long-term deals with AEW. It is official. Let's see here. We have a $2 super chat from Mike B. Thank you for that. He says, how are Casey and Sassy, the cats of No DQ? They're doing very well. You guys could check out their videos at my personal channel, youtube.com/AaronRift. Now we'll get back to wrestling. We had the AEW Tag Team Titles match. Kenny Omega and Adam Page defending against Stu Grayson and Evil Uno of the Dark Order. Now, Omega was making his entrance and Adam Page jumped the gun, started fighting the Dark Order. Omega was not happy about his entrance being cut off. He was having some words with Page, so more dissension being teased between them. During the match, we had Brody Lee out there watching, and apparently Anna Jay is now part of the Dark Order. Yay, I guess. Colt Cabana was on commentary for this match. The Dark Order got a couple of near falls, but then Adam Page broke up one of the pinfall attempts. Uno kicked out of a V-trigger from the back, but then he got hit with the V-trigger buckshot lariat combo, and it was all she wrote for the Dark Order on this evening. Still your tag team champions, Page and Omega. Match was fine. After the match, Brody Lee was very upset. He threw the papers that he had in Evil Uno's face. The Young Bucks came down to the ring, and Brody Lee said that the Dark Order has numbers everywhere. We had a bunch of other guys in masks coming down to the ring. They surrounded the ring. All of a sudden, FTR came out with a cooler. They bashed it over the head of Brody Lee. And FTR, along with the Elite, cleared the ring of the Dark Order jabronis. So there you go. The storyline continues here. I'm still not really feeling the Dark Order storyline. I thought maybe with Brody Lee involved, it would pick up the pace, but it still feels like a really lame gimmick, the Dark Order. And I feel it's actually dragging Brody Lee down a little bit. But hey, just my opinion on it. Next week, they're doing a huge match with the Elite against the Dark Order. You know, 5 of the Master Jabronis, whatever. I mean, I'm sure it'll be an entertaining match, but I really don't care about it all that much, to be perfectly honest with you guys. I really feel it's time to put the Dark Order to pasture. You brought in Brody Lee to try and give it some new life, but to me, it's not panning out. And I feel like Brody's just not standing out right now in the suit. Like, the gimmick's just not working for me. So I think it's time to put it to pasture, and you gotta change something up with Brody Lee. He's getting lost in the shuffle, in my opinion. Johnny Boy with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Johnny. Says, you should definitely go back to reviewing both shows in the same video. I want to hear about NXT when it's fresh. Well, I ask you guys again, leave a comment with your feedback. Let me know. I just know for me, it's easier to focus on each show by watching them separately. I feel I do a better job recapping the shows. I'm a little bit more detailed and a little bit more focused with my thoughts. But let me know what you guys think. And the views have been good for NXT. I mean, not really good compared to Raw. and sometimes SmackDown, but the NXT and AEW view counts have been similar, even though I'm recording NXT the next day. So in that regard, it seems to be doing okay. You know, I was definitely taking view count into consideration and people tuning in. So it seems to be working okay so far, but I do want to hear your continued thoughts on if I should go back to the old method or keep doing it the way I've been doing it the last few weeks. We had Britt Baker hand a letter to Tony Schiavone. Schiavone basically introduced her. She said she has something to say about Big Swole. She says Big Swole is obsessed with her. However, she is going to give Swole an opportunity to wrestle her. However, Swole will have to beat an opponent of her choice. And we'll find out who that opponent is, I suppose, in the very near future. We then had a match between the AEW Women's Champion Hikaru Shida versus Diamante, who won her match last week. And I believe this was a non-title match. She was wearing her LAX trunks from Impact Wrestling. I have no idea if that was supposed to be a little subtle clue to the future, like we're going to get an LAX reunion down the line. Who knows? But match itself, didn't really do much for me. I did not think it was that good of a match. I thought it was just okay. And there were a couple awkward sequences, in my opinion. I just felt like they didn't really have a lot of chemistry together. Match did not really hold my attention much. Shida picked up the victory with the running knee strike. And I think this one was pretty skippable, in my opinion. Now, speaking of the women's division, they did announce more details regarding the Deadly Draw, which is this women's tag team tournament. They are going to be airing it on YouTube starting this Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 1 hour before Monday Night Raw. I guess it's going to be an hour each week. And it's basically like the Lethal Lottery, where the women teams are going to be drawn at random. They will not know who they're teaming up with. They're going to pick colors, and that will determine the teams for the match. And the winner gets this nice trophy. So no tag team titles just yet. And there was a backstage segment with Vicky Guerrero saying, "Excuse me," even though she recently did an interview and said she's not going to use her old WWE gimmick. She's going to change things up. She's still saying, "Excuse me." And she said, doesn't matter who Nyla Rose's partner is, they're going to win the tournament. And then it was revealed that somebody drew the same number as Nyla, and that person is the former Cameron. For those of you that don't remember Cameron, she was Naomi's tag team partner, formerly of the Funkadactyls. She appeared on, I think, a few episodes of Total Divas, maybe only one, maybe two. I don't remember. Caitlin might know. But she was on Total Divas for a bit. Formerly Cameron, going by the name Ariani. And she's teaming up with Nyla Rose for the tag team tournament, the Deadly Draw tournament. Then we had a really fun segment. We had MJF come out for his State of AEW, State of Professional Wrestling address. He was walking backstage in the hallway. There were posters of him that said, "We deserve better." And in the ring, they had this presidential speech set up with a podium. He thanked Tony Khan for the time to speak. He had the hashtag MJF2020 and hashtag #NotMyChampion. He elaborated on that hashtag. He said that he's never featured 2 weeks in a row. I like how he's referencing people's thoughts on AEW. You know, I've talked about it during the streams. Like, why is MJF not on TV every week? He brought this up. He said there's a reason for this. There's a guy who is a dictator in AEW. And that person, according to MJF, is the world champion, Jon Moxley. He brought up how AEW promoted change. Moxley came in promoting change, but really, it's the same old hat, brother. He said that Moxley is not his champion. Moxley represents what's wrong with wrestling. Wrestlers doing gymnastics and flip-flops, and the fans have been brainwashed to think that this is good wrestling. And these problems start at the top, and of course Moxley is at the top. He's the champ. And then he really stuck that knife in the back of Moxley here, really took that jab, saying that Moxley should not be cosplaying as a wrestler, and that's a stone cold fact. Ouch. That was quite the line there from MJF. And he said that he draws better minute-by-minute numbers than that dictator Jon Moxley. He said his talents outweigh the tenure of Moxley in the wrestling business, and he is going to lead the company, AEW, into the future for the next 25 years plus. He finished off by officially challenging Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship at the All Out pay-per-view. Very interesting here. I've been saying all along, if I was going to pick a guy to beat Moxley to win the title, it would be MJF. But the question is, again, is it too soon to be doing this match? Is it time for MJF to be the world champion? What do you guys think? Like, I have mixed feelings. I don't know if AEW should be booking this match now, but looks like they're doing it. And if they're going to do it, I'm leaning towards this is the time. You know, you got to take the chance. Maybe MJF is too young to be champion. Maybe it's too soon. But this was a great promo from him. I mean, to me, this was the best thing of the show. I thought this was an awesome promo from MJF. He nailed it. Great promo here. He struck all the nerves. I'm sure the people on the internet fuming at him, you know, being a good heel. I liked it. So I'm wondering if it is the right time, but if they're going with it, I say you got to take a chance and try to make a new star, because it'll at least get those anti-WWE people off your back, you know. The fans that are saying AEW's only pushing former WWE guys. Like, this is the chance. MJF has momentum. He's not a former WWE guy. He's the closest thing they have right now to their own homegrown star. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be a very interesting match if it indeed happens at All Out. Now, AEW did announce that next week there's going to be a follow-up on it. We'll see if they make the match official, which seems like the obvious direction, but nothing confirmed just yet. We had our main event, the tag team match, Moxley and Darby Allin against Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. However, there was no Darby Allin. He did not show up for the entrance. Taz was backstage with Brian Cage and Ricky Starks, and Taz was like, where's Allin? Maybe he got the living shit kicked out of him last week by Starks, according to Taz. And then Taz started putting over Brian Cage's muscles, his biceps, his triceps, all that stuff. And then Starks cut a little bit of a promo saying that he's young, he's handsome, he's successful. Taz recruited him because he has something different to bring to the table. And he told Moxley, when you try hard, you die hard. The heels made their entrance, but then they were attacked, ambushed by Darby Allin, who did a coffin drop from the top of that circular entranceway. And the match began. It was a no DQ tornado tag team match. We had chairs, we had trash cans, we had a coffin drop in the ring by Allin. Cage kicked out of it, and then Allin took the trash can and started throwing it at the bicep of Brian Cage, the surgically repaired bicep. Taz actually gave some props to Allin for doing that on commentary, even though he was not happy with it. And then for the finish, Allen pulled out his skateboard, which had thumbtacks attached to it. He got on the top rope and did a stomp using the skateboard onto the back of Ricky Starks. The thumbtacks went into Starks' back, and he was bleeding quite a bit. I can't even say it. He was just bleeding a lot from the thumbtacks. 1, 2, 3, pinfall. Allen picks up the win for his team. And after the match, it was announced that next week on Dynamite, even though he's only like the 5th contender for the title according to the rankings, Darby Allin will face Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship on next week's Dynamite, the Super Wednesday show. And that was the end of this week's Dynamite. Very good show in my opinion. I really enjoyed it. Few issues here and there. Main event was fun. Loved MJF's promo. Nice debut from Matt Cardona, formerly Zack Ryder. We had Cameron show up. So we had some surprises. Good stuff here overall. I think I'll give the show a B. Pretty close to a B+. I'm somewhere in the middle. So it might be like a B, almost B+. But I'm going to go with a B. Good show overall from AEW. I enjoyed it. Will gives it a B+. Mike B with a B-. Lucha Libre Gaming Guy with an A. Michael Wayne with a B-. Shaddy Snake with an A. Mohammed with a B+. And Dale with a B+. The Lucha Libre, oh, I already did his. Jose Garza with a B. He just likes to put it in twice to try to get me to read it twice. And Kev gives it a B. Marshall Leonard gives it an A++++. So I guess he thinks it's the greatest Dynamite of all time. Calvin Bowman with a B, and Curtis Butler also with a B, and Darren gives it a B. So thumbs up show for AEW, or the Orange Cassidy thumbs up. Tomorrow night, I will give my thoughts on NXT as we build up towards the TakeOver 30 event. Stay tuned for that, and make sure you guys follow No DQ on Instagram, Instagram.com/NODQDOTCOM. We're almost at 10,000 followers, trying to hit 10K. So if you guys can head over there, give it a like or a follow, that would be much appreciated. And keep spreading the word. Tell a friend. Share this video to anybody you know who watches wrestling. Word of mouth goes a very long way. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will be back for NXT, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, Thursday night, and then Friday night for Smackdown. Stay safe, everybody. Be positive, and I'll see you all next time.